The Giants did not draft Francis Mauigoa in the first round to make him comfortable on the bench. That is the part nobody is paying attention to. For years, Big Blue has treated offensive line fixes like patchwork. One veteran here, one short-term answer there, one desperate reshuffle when things break down. But something is changing behind the scenes now, and it starts with the clearest message John Harbaugh and this front office could send. Competition is not a slogan anymore. It is a roster mechanism. Francis Mauigoa arriving with first-round expectations puts Jermaine Eluemunor directly under the microscope. And no, this is not some polite developmental timeline where the rookie waits his turn because the veteran has seniority. This is a collision. The New York Football Giants are trying to build an offense around Jaxson Dart, and that means nobody on that line gets protected by reputation. So the real question is not whether Mauigoa can play. The real question is whether Eluemunor can hold him off. And by the end of this, you will know which side I am taking. Let's be honest about where things stand. The Giants' offensive line has not earned the benefit of the doubt. It has been too unstable, too reactionary, and too dependent on temporary answers. When a franchise has a young starting quarterback like Jaxson Dart, that is not just a football problem. That is a development problem. If the protection fails, the whole offense gets dragged into survival mode. The holes are clear. Right tackle cannot be a handshake agreement. It cannot be a veteran holding a chair because he has experience. It cannot be a rookie sitting forever just because the team is afraid to create tension. That is how a franchise stays stuck. This is where it gets real. Jermaine Eluemunor is not some invisible depth piece. He is the veteran starter being named in this battle. That means his job is not theoretical. His role is the one under pressure. And Francis Mauigoa is not arriving as a late-round lottery ticket. He arrives with first-round expectations. That changes the temperature immediately. That overlay matters because first-round offensive linemen are not drafted to be decorations. They are drafted because the team believes they can become foundational pieces. But the problem is this. The Giants cannot afford a messy transition. They cannot afford uncertainty at a key spot while trying to stabilize the offense. They cannot afford a camp battle that exposes weak depth, poor communication, or a veteran losing control of the room. And Eluemunor is not stepping aside quietly. That creates pressure on everyone. Pressure on the rookie to prove he belongs. Pressure on the veteran to defend his job. Pressure on Harbaugh to reward the better player, not the safer name. And that brings us to what just happened. Francis Mauigoa may have just become the first real test of the Giants' new identity. Not because he was drafted. That part is obvious. Because of what his arrival says about how this franchise now wants to operate. The Giants may have created a real starting job battle on the offensive line after the draft. That is the headline. But the meaning underneath it is much bigger. This is not cosmetic. This is not a team adding a rookie and hoping he develops quietly in the background. This is a team putting a first-round player into a room where a veteran starter already exists and saying, prove it. That is John Harbaugh football. Harbaugh is not here to babysit fragile depth charts. He is here to create pressure, sort through the response, and find the players who can survive real competition. And when you connect the dots, Mauigoa's selection tells you exactly where the Giants are headed. They want toughness. They want physicality. They want an offensive line that is not constantly one injury or one bad matchup away from chaos. Mauigoa has first-round expectations attached to him. That phrase matters because it changes the timeline. A first-round rookie is not treated like a long-term maybe. He is treated like a player with a direct path to the field. And yes, that puts Jermaine Eluemunor in a tough spot. Because Eluemunor is not being challenged by a random body. He is being challenged by the kind of investment that front offices usually want on the field sooner rather than later. That is the uncomfortable truth. If the Giants believed the current setup was untouchable, they would not have created this situation. They would not have introduced a rookie with this much expectation into a position where stability is already fragile. This is the part nobody is talking about. A position battle like this is not only about who starts at right tackle. It is about what standard the Giants are willing to enforce. Are they going to reward experience? Or are they going to reward the best player? Because those are not always the same thing. For Jaxson Dart, this matters more than anything else on offense. The Giants can talk about weapons. They can talk about scheme. They can talk about rhythm and timing. But if the edge protection is unreliable, the entire operation tightens up. A young quarterback feels that. He speeds up. He drifts. He stops trusting the pocket. He starts playing the rush instead of playing the coverage. That is how bad line play infects everything. So Mauigoa is not just fighting for a job. He is fighting to become part of the foundation around Dart. And that is why I love the pick's message. Not because I am ready to hand him the spot today. I am not doing that. But because the Giants finally created a camp battle that has real weight. No fake competition. No ceremonial depth chart drama. No veteran automatically protected because change feels uncomfortable. This is legitimate. And when you see how Eluemunor responded, the whole picture becomes even sharper. The rookie brings the pressure, but the veteran brings the resistance. And that is exactly why this battle could become the most important offensive line story of Giants training camp. Jermaine Eluemunor is not stepping aside quietly. That detail matters. Because if Eluemunor were fading silently into the background, this would be a simple succession plan. Draft the rookie. Let him build. Move the veteran when the time comes. But that is not the energy here. Eluemunor has already sent a message that he is not giving up anything. That means Mauigoa is not walking into a vacant job. He is walking into a fight. And honestly, that is the best possible thing for the Giants. A weak veteran response would make the room softer. A strong veteran response makes the rookie earn every rep. That is how you find out whether a first-round lineman is ready for NFL responsibility or just carrying draft night hype. This is more than meets the eye. The Giants are not only evaluating Mauigoa's feet, hands, anchor, and technique. They are evaluating how he responds when a grown man refuses to surrender his livelihood. That is real football. Eluemunor also has something important working in his favor. He knows what it means to be in the building. He understands the daily rhythm. He understands the pressure of holding a starting role. And he has every reason to treat this like a personal challenge. That is the kind of tension coaches want. Because competition exposes truth. If Mauigoa is ready, he will not need a ceremonial handoff. He will take the job with his play. If Eluemunor is still the better option, he will hold the line and force the rookie to wait. Either outcome tells the Giants something valuable. But here is where I take my first firm stance. The Giants cannot let comfort win. If Mauigoa is even slightly better by the end of camp, he has to start. Not because of draft status. Not because fans want the new toy. Because Jaxson Dart needs the best protection group on the field immediately. That is the whole point. You drafted Mauigoa to raise the ceiling. You keep Eluemunor in the fight to protect the floor. That is smart roster building. And when you combine that with what this says about Harbaugh's philosophy, the proof becomes impossible to ignore. This Mauigoa versus Eluemunor battle proves the Giants are no longer treating starting jobs like inherited property. That is the bigger picture. Under John Harbaugh, the message is simple. If you want the job, win the job. If you have the job, defend the job. That is how real teams operate. This is not a smooth transition yet. It is not supposed to be. The story itself asks the right question. Is this a smooth transition or the first major position battle of Giants training camp? My answer is clear. It is a position battle, and it should be. The G-men need more of these, not fewer. Too many losing teams fear competition because competition creates uncomfortable decisions. Winning teams invite it because uncomfortable decisions sharpen the roster. This is where the identity shift shows up. Not in a press conference. Not in some polished quote about toughness. It shows up when a veteran starter feels heat from a rookie before camp truly defines itself. That is how you rewire a locker room. And for an offensive line that has been searching for stability, this is exactly the right kind of pressure. Not chaos. Not panic. Pressure with purpose. Mauigoa represents the future. Eluemunor represents the standard he has to beat. That is the balance Big Blue needed. And now, here's the hot take. Hot take. Francis Mauigoa is going to win the starting job before Week 1. And I am not backing down from that. That number matters because Week 1 is not a distant developmental checkpoint. It means the rookie would be trusted immediately when the season begins. I think the Giants drafted him with that possibility fully on the table. My prediction is simple. Mauigoa takes the job by the final stretch of training camp, and Eluemunor becomes the veteran swing piece who gives the line protection against injury and matchup problems. If I am wrong, I will come back to this video and own it. But I do not think I am wrong. And here's the part that will make some fans mad. I respect Jermaine Eluemunor. I respect the fight. I respect a veteran refusing to surrender anything. But I do not want the Giants choosing the safer answer if the rookie is ready. That era has to be over. Jaxson Dart is the current starting quarterback of this franchise. The entire offensive plan should be built around protecting him, accelerating his comfort, and giving him a line that can grow with him. Mauigoa fits that long-term vision better. Eluemunor can still help this team. But if this is a true reset, the rookie has to overtake him when the tape says it is time. Big Blue is not just adding players anymore. Big Blue is creating pressure that reveals who belongs. That is the reset this franchise needed. Francis Mauigoa versus Jermaine Eluemunor is not a side story. It is a test of the new Giants standard. Draft status will not be enough. Veteran status will not be enough. The job has to be earned. And I am putting this on record. Mauigoa starts week 1. That matters because it would tell every player in that building the same thing. The future is not waiting politely anymore. Giants fans, pick a side. Do you want Mauigoa starting immediately if he flashes in camp? Or do you trust Eluemunor to hold the job until the rookie clearly rips it away? If you're riding with the G-men through this rebuild, you know where that subscribe button is. We break down every move, every battle, and every clue behind the plan. Go Big Blue.